Hello viewers, welcome to the series Bhaskar's Insurance for You and Me. In the last few episodes, we have discussed about home insurance, personal accident, and health insurance products and related regulations. In this episode, we will discuss few important aspects about overseas travel insurance. We had in our earlier episodes discussed in detail about health insurance policies. These health insurance policies generally provide cover only for the medical treatment within the country. If the person holding a health insurance policy travels outside the country, these policies do not cover the medical expenses incurred there, except very few products where the global cover is provided as an extra benefit. So when an individual travels outside the country, he needs to take a separate insurance for covering the treatment cost incurred while traveling abroad. This cover is available under insurance policies called as overseas travel insurance policies. Besides the medical expenses cover, the overseas travelers also need cover for many other risks associated with overseas travel, which are also included in the overseas travel insurance policies. The products are named differently by different insurers like overseas medical insurance, travel guard, travel protection policy, international travel policy, etc. This policy has many sections providing varieties of coverages. Each of the sections comes with its own set of terms, exclusions, etc. Also, there are many insurance products in the market covering travel insurance, each with its own set of covers and terms. It is difficult to include all those combinations and variations in our presentation. Hence, I am discussing the general aspects which are present in many of these products and in brief. The actual combination of covers could vary from product to product and needs to be understood by going through the policy terms and conditions. We'll focus in our presentation on the following few important aspects related to the overseas travel policy. That is, need for the policy, who can take the policy and when, what are the types of travel policies, what is the scope of cover, how the sum insured and deductible are indicated, what is the basis for the premium competition, and duration of cover, and about few major exclusions and the provisions for policy extension, policy cancellation, the claims process to be followed, the points to remember in overseas travel insurance, etc. At the need for the policy, as I had mentioned earlier also, overseas travel insurance is a must-have insurance as and when a person is traveling abroad. The reasons for the same are: one is the cost of medical treatment is significantly high in some of the countries when compared to the costs in India. Any medical emergency abroad can prove to be a major loss and can derail the financial security of the person for the rest of his life. Besides medical insurance for treatment costs, the travel insurance policies also provide various other covers related to accidents, baggage losses, trip cancellation, etc., which are very useful during international travel. Also, having a travel insurance policy is mandatory. It's mandatory for travel to some of the countries. For these countries, buying a travel policy is compulsory before the visa approval. Hence, it is suggested that the cost of travel insurance be considered more as a part of travel expense and make travel insurance as an essential buy for traveling abroad. Now, who can take the policy? Any Indian citizen who is traveling outside India is eligible to take this policy. Non-Indian citizens who are residing in India can also take this policy if they are traveling outside India to countries other than their own home country. There are age limits applicable for taking this policy, which varies from product to product, and some insurers may seek medical checkup for proposers beyond a certain age for underwriting the proposal. And when this policy should be taken? The overseas travel policies can be purchased only before commencement of the intended trip. Once the trip commences, the policy cannot be bought. Now we will look into what are the different types of policies available for the purpose of overseas travel. The cover normally operates at individual level, that is, the sum insured is applicable on per person basis. And the family plans are also available with some insurers, wherein the family members of the proposer can be covered under one plan. So in few products, policy is available on floater basis also, wherein the emergency medical expenses cover alone is provided on a floater basis for all family members together. The travel insurance policies are available for overseas trips for the purpose of business, holiday, studies, or employment, and the coverage and terms of cover could vary slightly based on the purpose of travel. So the cover details provided here in this presentation pertain to the policies covering business and holiday purposes. Generally, the policies are taken for covering each trip separately. They are known as single trip policies. There are also products available to cover multi trips under single policy to cater to the frequent travelers, which are known as multi trip policies. The maximum duration for which the cover is provided varies from product to product and also is based on age of the insured. In many of the policies, the maximum duration cover for a single trip is 180 days, which can be further extended when needed. The total period of cover, including such extension, if any, it does not normally exceed 360 or 365 days, depending on the product feature. Now we will look into what is the scope of cover under these overseas travel policies. The policy provides cover for only those contingencies which are sudden and occur after commencement of the insured journey. For better understanding, the different covers available under the travel policies can be broadly categorized into those which are treatment related, accident compensation related, baggage related, travel trip related, and other covers. A brief description of these covers is as follows. If you look at the treatment related covers under them, the emergency medical expenses incurred overseas for treatment of illness or accidental injury is a major cover. The policy indemnifies the insured person for medical expenses incurred in the hospital for treatment taken overseas during the policy period. So the expenses towards the room rent, ICU charges, medical practitioners charges, anesthesia, blood, oxygen, operation theatre charges, cost of medicines and drugs, cost of diagnostic procedures, ambulance charges, etc. are all included under this cover. In respect of some insurance product, the outpatient treatment expenses are also covered either for full sum insured or with the sublimited sum insured. The cover under this category also includes emergency medical evacuation of the person to the country of residence also. And in many of the products, the cover is provided for cost of transportation or repatriation of the mortal remains of the insured person if the person dies due to sickness or accidental injury to the country of residence or cost of burial in the overseas country itself. Another medical cover provided is pertaining to emergency dental treatment. If the insured person sustains sudden acute pain or injury to sound natural teeth while overseas, requiring immediate medical attention, the insurer provides indemnification for the same. Now, looking at the accident compensation related covers, the policy provides for compensation in case of death or disability caused by accidental injury while overseas. The details of disabilities covered are listed in the policy and are similar to death and permanent disability covers provided under normal individual personal accident policies. So we had a couple of episodes on the individual personal accident policies already. So the amount of compensation depends on the disability percentage and the sum insured applicable. This cover is provided under two different heads, one applicable for accidents outside India and the other applicable for domestic accident, that is accidents within India after commencement of cover. It is possible that the person insured under the overseas travel policy is already covered under a separate personal accident policy. In that case, the insured person is entitled for compensation under the personal accident policy and also under the overseas travel policy, as these personal accident covers are basically benefit covers and not indemnity covers. The next set of covers we'll discuss is baggage related. The travel involves carrying of baggage. It is possible that there could be loss or damage to the baggage while traveling during the policy period. There are different covers provided under overseas travel policy to cover such contingencies like a total loss of checked-in baggage and hand baggage while entrusted to the carrier, covered up to the market value of the lost items less any recovery from carrier, and of course it is subject to the applicable limit, sum insured limit specified. Similarly, delay of arrival of checked-in baggage by the carrier to whom it was entrusted beyond specified time, generally a time of 12 hours, from scheduled arrival time is covered up to the limit specified in the policy. The third such cover is loss of personal baggage due to theft or burglary while in the custody of insured person during the insured journey. Now we'll have a look at the travel trip related coverages under the policy. If the intended trip for which the insurance policy was taken could not be carried out as intended and leads to some financial losses, there are certain covers to take care of such losses. One is trip cancellation. In case the trip is cancelled before commencement of the trip, the cover provides for reimbursement of non-refundable expenses on cancellation of overseas travel tickets, cancellation of overseas hotel bookings, tour bookings, etc. If the travel cancellation was caused due to specified reasons like death of immediate family member or traveling companion or critical illness diagnosis for any of the immediate family members or serious damage to insured person's residence due to natural disasters like fire, flood, earthquake, etc., or the booked carrier getting delayed beyond 24 hours due to natural disasters, strikes, etc. These are all the reasons due to which, if there is a trip cancellation, the same is covered under the policy. The next such cover is the trip curtailment cover. In case the overseas trip is curtailed, this cover provides for reimbursement of non-refundable expenses on cutting short of overseas travel tickets, hotel bookings, and tour bookings, etc. Provided, of course, if the travel curtailment was caused due to specified reasons like death of immediate family member or traveling companion, critical illness diagnosis for any of the immediate family members, serious damage to insured person's residence due to natural disasters like fire, flood, earthquake, etc. Booked carrier getting delayed beyond 24 hours due to natural disaster, strike, etc. Hijack of the carrier, etc. The third such cover is a flight cancellation, where the policy provides for payment of the applicable sum insured in case of cancellation of scheduled departure of international flight during the insured journey. The next cover is that of flight delay, sometimes referred as trip delay. In case the flight is delayed beyond a specified period, generally of 12 hours, and the carrier does not provide meals and lodging free of cost, the policy provides for reimbursement of expenses for meals and lodgings up to the policy limits. This cover applies only if the trip delay is caused due to any of the insured hazards like severe weather conditions, strike by employees, breakdown of carrier equipment, loss of passport, etc. Some policies provide for total sum insured amount as compensation in case of flight delay. The next cover is on the missed flight connection. In case the insured misses a travel connection overseas due to delayed arrival of the inward flight caused by reasons beyond the control of the insured, the cover provides for payment of a fixed amount as compensation. Next, we'll look at the other covers available. There are many other contingencies that can happen during the overseas travel, having financial implications to the insured person. Some of those exigencies are also covered, which are now being discussed. The one such cover is loss of passport. If the passport is lost during the insured travel, the expenses incurred like fee payable for obtaining emergency certificate, expenses for applying for a passport in India are covered under the policy. The next one is loss of international driving license. If the international driving license is lost during the insured travel, the expenses for obtaining duplicate or fresh license either overseas or within 30 days of returning to the country of residence is covered. And the policy also provides for cover for personal liability, which covers the actual personal legal liability and defense costs incurred towards a third party for third party bodily injury or property damage due to an incident during the insured travel. The next cover is of the bounced booking of hotel, where the policy provides for reimbursement of the actual additional cost incurred for alternate accommodation in case the original confirmed accommodation is bounced at the instance of accommodation provider. A similar cover may be available for pre-booked flight also in case of bouncing of airline booking. Uh, the burglary cover for home contents is next cover, where the contents of the insured person's normally occupied residence, that is, the residence in the place of the house or the residence in the place of his stay, is covered against burglary or attempted burglary during the period of insured of overseas travel. The next cover is on the hijack allowance or relief. It provides for fixed allowance for the duration of trip disruption if the carrier in which the insured is traveling is subjected to hijack leading to trip disruption. Besides these covers, there are many more coverages available in some of the products, either as inbuilt covers or as add-on covers on payment of extra premium. Some such covers are fraudulent charges cover for car transactions, compassionate travel for a family member cover, which is also referred as emergency medical reunion cover, loss of cash or financial emergency assistance cover, rental vehicle excess and rental vehicle delayed return covers, hospital cash cover, rehabilitation service cover, automatic extension of policy period, etc. etc. So far, we have discussed aspects like need for overseas travel policy, eligibility to take the policy, and scope of cover under the policy. Rest of the points pertaining to the product will be discussed in our next episode. I'll come back in the next episode with these details. Until then, bye from Bhaskar.